Hello folks, this is Alex. This is the third part of the design set of videos that I'm doing. So today we're going to go and figure out how, we're going to determine our race line. Excuse me. So this is our site. You know, we've been going over this map. I took out all the stuff that I had originally drawn in there, going to draw from scratch. But before we get started, I'm going to go over a few things that you kind of have to think of before you start drawing. This is a Google map of Houston Police Academy, and as you see, this is the area that's on that drawing. Well, in order to do this properly, you need to know where your start is, where your finish is, where the truck's going to be, any crossover, and where paddock's going to, or grid's going to be in paddock. So in SCCA, Houston SCCA, we often have over 100 people. So it tends to, we can't grid over here. Some of the smaller clubs they do, and it makes it a lot easier. You don't have to have a crossover and everything, but usually our size is too large to allow that. So we have grid usually is here, and grid workers will send people around to whatever way the track's going to be that day, and then they come back to grid. Paddock is here where everybody you know, has their trailers and stuff like that, and any other stuff, non-racing stuff that they bring with them. So basically, let's see. So I will go to the map now. Okay. So first thing you have to do is choose your start and your finish, which I've pretty much already chosen. My start's going to be around here. My finish will be up in here. Because this is a 2-day event, to keep from having to set the thing up twice, we'll set it up once, run it, modify a little bit of it, and then run it backwards the second day. So I have to have a decent runoff area on both days, you know, since this will be the slow down area on Saturday, and over here will be the slow down area on Sunday after the finish. And usually you have to allot enough space to where they can safely slow down and get back down to 10 miles an hour and go back to grid. So also you need to figure out where the truck is going to be, and I'll show you some examples of other maps to kind of, I'm going to put the truck probably right in here looking out this way, because the start will go this way, and this is for Saturday. So the truck will be here, so they'll be able to see all this out here, so they can see the start and they can see the finish. Day 2, I'm not sure the truck's going to be in the same spot, or if that's a problem, I need to find out about that. But yeah, day 2, the truck will probably be up here, because we'll be starting here, and it's better to have the truck near the start than the finish, but they should be able to see the start and the finish if possible. If they can't, it makes it harder. You should put the truck in a way that people in the truck can see pretty much the entire course, so they can tell if a red flag has happened, or you know, they can kind of keep track of the general flow of the event, just to make sure they need to be able to see the numbers clearly and all that stuff. We'll go over that a little bit later. But okay, so I'm going to go over a couple of maps I've done before just to kind of show the truck location. Okay, here's our start, and this is our finish, and it goes up here. You can't see it, but the truck is right here, and this little half moon thingy is basically their view, you know, where they can see if they look. So here they can see the start, and they definitely can see the finish, and they pretty much can see everything. So this really is a good location for the truck in this particular map. That didn't change. Some of the things changed in this map because my inexperience and not really knowing how to do it, but a lot of the main stuff stayed where it was at. It got massaged a little bit, but not too bad. All right, this is the first one I did, and I put the truck here, which it didn't end up being there because this is a bad idea. The problem with this is that's grass, and we live in Houston where we can get 3 inches of rain in an hour, and the truck would be to its frame if we tried to put it here. So it's good to have forethought to think, okay, I need to have a solid base underneath the truck, otherwise we're going to get the truck stuck. And another thing, these maps are drawn typically more than a month in advance, so you have no clue what the weather's going to be when that day comes. So we ended up moving the truck over here to where it could be on this concrete, so we didn't have to worry about that, and it still could see the start and the finish. So it wasn't a big move, but yeah, don't place your timing stuff in grass area because you never can tell what the weather's going to bring. And like I said, it's so far from the time the actual event happens that you're not going to be able to guess what the weather's going to be. All right. And in this one also, you have to consider a crossing guard. There's going to be a crossing guard right here, and he, she, whatever, is going to let people through after a car comes through here, because we're going this way. So as soon as somebody comes across, he'll send a car over here. Usually there's a guy with a radio here, and the reason why is you can't really see grid from where the crossing guard's right here, and all these buildings are in the way. So that's always a challenge to get that going smoothly with that long of a if somebody's slow here and holding a couple of cars up, and they'll run out, and that's something we have to manage each event. But yeah, the crossing guard typically is right here because you're going to occupy that area twice, or you're going to have cars going across it and then the cars racing on the line across it as well. So we typically, at this site, since it has the entrance and exit like this, we normally have a crossing guard. There are other designs that you don't have to, but most of them I would say do. This site has been used so many times by Houston SCCA as well as other local clubs, to where I don't know how many maps have been drawn, but I would say well into the hundreds, maybe 1,000, I don't know. I autocrossed here at 1988, and we used the same track, so it's been used at least every other weekend since then, as far as I know. I didn't actually start autocross back then, I just did one event. But yeah, so this thing's been drawn. Good chance whatever you draw at this site is going to be something very similar to what has been done before, just because it's been this way forever. One good thing is they've added this concrete here, made this wider. So there's some new concrete, this little new piece, to where we have a little more flexibility than we had in the past. But this is starting to wear in, but when it was first here, it was super slick. So you kind of had to be careful on your lines through there that people don't go running off in the grass real easily. All right, so that's basically the considerations. We have to do start, finish, truck, crossover guard, grid, and paddock, and kind of understand, have a mental idea how that stuff's all going to flow the day of the event. So we will go back to the drawing. Okay, and I do this a little different, so I don't know if it's right, wrong, or whatever, but I want to draw this area to where it has very good flow. So all I'm going to do is pull in circles in here, and connect the circles with the race line, and then out in this area I'm going to do something a little bit different, because if everything flows just from the flow lines, if everything is perfectly flown, then Miatas are going to kill everybody. So you gotta have a few spots where the horsepower cars can make up some ground, and to keep the packs to where it really makes sense. If you have a balanced track, there should be pieces where Miata's going to catch up, and then a vet or whatever is going to catch up at another spot, and those should be balanced as best you can. I don't have any scientific method on how to do that. I've thought about how to do it, but I haven't done this enough really to give that a good go yet. But basically you have to have some horsepower spots. If everything flows just with the circles, then the packs is going to kill horsepower cars.